Hi there, welcome back to our channel. Imagine your student racing against the clock to answer your quiz in PowerPoint. Sounds fun, right? Whether you're a teacher, student, private tutor, instructor, or presenter, this PowerPoint tutorial will grab attention and keep your audience fully engaged. Make sure to stay till the very end because you don't want to miss out on the tricks and tips I have for you in this video. If you're ready to do this, let's dive right in. Alright, we're going to be replicating exactly what is here. First, we're going to have a cover slide that says start, and we're going to have our question slide and the answer slide. Okay, so these are the things we're going to be setting up, and we're going to have clickable buttons around our slides. Okay, before we get started, I'd like to show you where I got the ideas for this quiz. How many of you remember your ChatGPT? Okay, so this is my ChatGPT where I do all my research. Okay, so I came to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to give me an unscrambled word game quiz in PowerPoint, and it just started popping up all of these ideas, right? So it gave me ideas based on my most research terms. So I research mostly on computer ICT stuff, and that was why it just generated all of this. But that is not my main idea. All right, so I came down here to say give me ideas relating to maths, and then it started popping up these ideas, and it was just so straightforward for me. I gave it a prompt again to say give me hint or clue for each scrambled word, and then it made it more detailed, giving me the scrambled letters, the hint, and the solution. Okay, and so this is what ChatGPT can help you do. You can get the ideas of whatever you want to create for your lessons. All right, having said that, let's get a quiz background for our cover slide. So just click the plus sign to open a new tab and just search up here scrambled word quiz background. Okay, press enter and then go to images, and these are the images. It pops up. All right, so this is what I want. I really love this. I want to pick this. Okay, so let's download this into our computer. So right click on the picture, click save image as, and give it a file name. Let's save it on download so it's easier for us to just insert it. Okay, so we've saved our background. We already have our ideas right here, what we want to create, and we have our background saved to the computer. Now let's begin. Now this is our blank presentation slide. We're going to take off the placeholders, so highlights and delete. Okay, so this is our first slide, and we're going to have to insert our background, the background which we downloaded from the internet. Okay, so to do that, go to insert, pictures, this device. You're choosing this device because we saved the picture on this device. Okay, so this is the background. Click and insert it. Okay, it's looking way small. It's looking really small, so I'm going to show us how to adjust that. All right, so first let's just let's stretch it out a bit, and we're going to crop it to fit the dimension of our slide. So the dimension of our slide is 16:9, and that's what we're going to crop it to. So to do that, you make sure the picture is selected, and you go to the right side, click crop, and click aspect ratio, go all the way down to 16:9. That's 16:9. You can adjust it. You can adjust it to suit wherever you want, and then click out. So this is 16:9. Drag it to the beginning and okay, so this is our cover slide. Now we're going to insert the start button in there. All right, so let's go to insert, click text box, draw a text box, increase the font size, but let's change the font style to, I love this font style, and this font style was downloaded. Okay, so I'm going to increase that. Start. Okay, highlights, I need it to be in white so that the text pops up on the blue background. Okay, so go to shape format, go to text fill, click white, and that's it. And I think this size is cool. If you still want it bigger, you can still increase it. Okay, now we're going to insert a new slide. And we're going to create our question slide. Insert. I'm going to use word art for my instruction, and this is what I want to use. Okay, so let's type guess the word. Okay, move it all the way up. Highlights, and let's change the font style. So I want it to have this font style, and you can decide to increase it a little bit. It's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. So next is our clue or hint. Click insert. I like to use shapes for that, so click on the rectangle shape, draw the rectangle. Remember to leave some space here because you're going to have to add your countdown timer later. Okay, so let's leave some space here. Okay, so you can stretch it out a little bit. Cool. Okay, so take off the outline on the shape. No outline. Let's change the color to match what we have on the slide. So I think I'll choose the blue and I'll make it a little bit dark. So go back to shape fill, click more fill colors, and drag this point down to the dark shade, and let's click OK. Okay, this shade is actually looking like black, so I'll just go back there. More fill colors and drag it up a little bit. Okay, I don't want it looking like black. Okay, so this is the perfect color I wanted, right? Okay, so we're going to insert a clue or hint. All right, so right click on the shape and click edit text. Okay, that's the easiest way to insert a text to a particular shape. Another way is for you to go to insert, choose a text box, and draw the text box right in that shape. All right, so let's go to where we have our hint and clue, and let's pick the first one. The first clue says the opposite of subtraction. Let's copy that. You can right click to copy or use Ctrl+C. Let's go into a slide and let's paste that there. Okay, so we're going to do some formatting now. Highlight the text, go to home tab, change this. I want all the question, the clues to be in Comic Sans, so I'll just change that to Comic Sans, and then I have to increase the font. Okay, so let's say this is cool, the opposite of subtraction. Now we're going to enter the scrambled letters. Okay, our scrambled letters. So use a text box for that. Go to insert, click text box, box and draw the text box here. All right, and increase the font size. The size needs to be increased. But first, let's bring in our scrambled letters. Okay, so this is the first one. And I'm going to paste it right there. Highlights, and I want the font style to be in Adlan display. And so let's increase it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to show us a trick here. The very first trick here is how to adjust the spacing of your letters. Okay, so to do that, you come to the Home tab. Under the font group, you see character spacing command here. Click on it and click very loose. Now, if that's not loose enough for you, you can go back there and click more spacing. So let's check the spacing dimension, the points. Oh, this is by 6, so we can decide to say, oh, by 10. Space out by 10, and okay, so this is cool. You can increase it still a little bit so that you'll be able to see what you have there. Yeah, so this is our scrambled letters. All right, I noticed that ChatGPT gave me a double T in these scrambled letters, so I'll just take off one. You see why you have to always scrutinize whatever the AI machine gives to you, right? You have to scrutinize it properly. Okay, so I can decide to still increase this a little bit. Okay, so it's looking wide. Now let's create our check answer button. Insert, go to shapes, choose rectangle with rounded corners, and draw the rounded corners here. Okay, we're going to take off the outline, change the fill to green, shape effect to preset 2. Remember, preset 2 helps you to get a button look. Whenever you want to change a shape to look more like a button, use preset 2 under shapes effect. Now we are going to make this look more like a button. I want a very round, like a rounded corner button. So I'll just point at the yellow points. I'll click on the yellow point here, drag it in to form that button look I really want. Okay, so right click, edit text, and type check answer. Okay, so I can highlight that and make it bold. Make it bold, just give it a little bit. Okay, so okay, this is 2. All right, so I think this is okay. So here our question slide is ready. Let's create our answer slide. Okay, so when you have a question slide, you need to have an answer slide, because the question slide will have to transit to show up the right answer for that particular question. So I'll do that by simply maybe duplicating this. So click on the slide and click Ctrl D to duplicate. So let's take off this and this. Okay, we don't want this, and we're going to choose, type in our right answer. Okay, so our right answer is addition. Okay, this is our right answer. And this button, we want this button to click next, to say next. All right. All right, so and we're going to make it smaller. Okay, good. So what will happen here is at the pop of the answer, the next button will appear to take us to the next slide. So this is what we have right here. The last thing we're going to do right now is to bring in our timer, our countdown timer. So let's go to, remember we created a countdown timer in the last lesson. Check the link in the description below on how to create a countdown timer. All right, So let's go straight to where we have a countdown timer, highlight the countdown timer and copy. Okay, so either you do this, click copy here, or you use Ctrl+C. So let's bring it into our slide, and we want that to be on this page. So let's paste it. Now it will paste at the exact position of where it was where you copied from. Okay, at the same position where you copied from. So all you need to do is paste and move it to where you want it to be. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to add a sound. We're going to add a sound to our slide, and we want to do that on this side. So I'm just trying to do all of the setup so it's easier for us to understand everything I'm doing, right? So to add that sound, let's go to insert, audio on my PC. I already downloaded the audio I need for this particular quiz, and I downloaded this from pixabay.com. So if you need to download any sound effect, you can go to pixabay.com. all right, so they have varieties of free sound effects you can use for whatever you want to create. So this is my sound effect for this particular quiz, and I'm going to insert it. All right, so I'll just move it to the bottom right corner, and notice that when I inserted the audio, it popped up these tabs here, the audio format tab and the playback tab, right? So we want to do some setting here. The first setting is to hide during show. We want this audio button to hide during our slideshow or when anyone is trying to play your game. We don't want it to appear. All right, so we have to hide it, and then we want it to play in background. So click play in background, and notice that immediately we toggled on play in background, it just toggled play across slides and loop until stopped. It toggled it on automatically. All right, so these are very key important feature or commands that you have to toggle on when inserting an audio into your slide. All right, so our audio is ready, and we have our question slide, we have the answer slide. Now the next thing we want to do right now is to animate it so that it looks very interactive and fun for anyone to play. Let's preview what we have. Okay, so go to slideshow from beginning. You can see our sound is playing, and we have the start button, but we can't toggle this. We can only use the arrow keys. It's not looking more like a game. To make it look more like a game, we need to insert a link. All right, so this is what we have. All right guys, before we start adding animations to our quiz, let's change. I want the colors of the circles to rhyme with the colors I have on my slide. Remember, in PowerPoint, color consistency is very important. Okay, so I'll take off the red color and I'll change that to the blue I have here, and I think this is the blue. Yes, and I'm going to change the second circle to the blue I have blue I have here, and then I'm going to change the last circle to black, but a lighter shade of black. Okay, so this is cool. Now the colors are rhyming. Colors are rhyming perfectly. All right, let's animate our slides to make it look good. I'm going to start from the very first one. Okay, so I want at the click of start, it moves me to the question page. All right, so when we click the button start, to make start clickable, we have to turn it to a link. We have to insert a link there. Okay, so click on it, go to insert, go to link, click insert link, and we're going to link that to a place in this document. Choose a place in this document, and then go to, you can either choose next slide or you choose the particular slide you want it to move into. Okay, so let's just make do with slide 2. All right, so click OK. That's that. Now next, we want guess the word. That's our instruction. We want it to remain at the same position. We don't want it to animate or do anything, just remain there. Okay, so click on this one. We want this to float in, so we're going to add the float in animation to it. So click float in, and we want it to float in with previous. Okay, we don't want it to delay, we want it to float in. So change delay to 0, press enter, and let the duration be for 1 second. Okay, and we're going to animate this also, but we want the scrambled letters to fly in, and we want it to fly in from the left. So to do that, you go to effect options and click from the left. Okay, it's actually coming so fast. We're going to change that in the animation pane. So let's go to the animation pane and change some settings. So this is the text box, this is the box for this. So all you need to do, click on the arrow down there, click effect options, go down to, this is the direction from the left. Here where it says animate text, we don't want it to come all at once. We want it to come in by letter, and it's okay for it to come 10 seconds. So 10 seconds is cool. So yes, that's it. It's coming by letter now. Okay, so that's the animation we want to do. And remember, we changed this to with previous. We want it to come in to start with previous, and let's change it to 1 second too. Yes, 1 second is okay. All right, so we are going to create a link here that links us to the answer slide. All right, so click check answer, go back to insert, click link, insert your link. And so this time around, when we click check answer, we want it to move us to the answer slide, which is slide 3. Okay, so click OK. All right, good. Now we're going to the slide, we're going to the answer slide. We want the answer slide to transit, so let's add a transition effect. Let's add a transition effect there on slide 3. So when you go to transition, I love the morphing transition a lot. It's a very cool transition effect, but it has restriction to different version of Microsoft PowerPoint. All right, so you can do well to avoid the morphing transition, but if you have the morphing transition, you can go ahead and use it. Okay, I strongly recommend the fade transition. All right, so let's use the fade transition. Now we want the next button to pop up, to fly in immediately we land on the answer page. All right, so let's set that animation. Click animation, click fly in, and it's okay for it to fly in from the bottom. Yes, let it fly in from the bottom. Okay, and we want it to start after previous. Let's give it 0.75 seconds before the next button pops up. All right, so let's preview what we have done so far. Slideshow from beginning. Now see, the start button is clickable. Check answer, and the button pops up, and then it moves us. Okay, so we are good. Now we are good with the setup we need. I want to show us how to take off the animation, the sound effect on the timer. Since we already have a sound playing on the background, let's just have our timer just move without making a sound. All right, so from where you see the oval to where you see text box 9, this is everything that has to do with the timer. Okay, but we're not changing the sound effect from the oval, from the circles there. We are changing it from the numbers animation, the number animation, which is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So click on the very first one, hold your shift key down to select the rest of the boxes. Okay, good. And then click the arrow, go to effect option, and let's change the sound. Okay, so let's click and say no sound. We don't want any sound, and click OK. Alright, so the timer will just pop up without giving us any sound effects. Alright, now we're done setting everything we need for this particular quiz. It's time to make a duplicate so that we'll duplicate it to as many quiz questions as we wish. Alright, so once you're done with the very first question slide and answer slide, it's very easy to create every other one. Alright, so let's just click, hold your shift key, select the next slide, and press Ctrl D to make a duplicate. So let's go to this. We're going to change the question here. Let's go back to our clues and choose. Alright, taking away numbers, copy. I'm going to show us a new trick now. So I'll show you a new way to paste without having to alter the format that you already, the test, the font style and font size and everything you have done on the test. So for instance, if I paste this test, it just pops up. That's because it has recorded my most recent formats. I've used it over time and it has recorded it. But let's undo that. For some of your versions, it may not be that way. So all you need to do is come here to the arrow that says more paste options and choose the one to keep test only. Alright, choose keep test only. It would pop up that test with the same format, the same font style, the same font size. Alright, so we are going to change this, highlight it, and let's go to, let's pick this. Let's pick the scrambled letters for that question. And I'm going to go to paste option, click keep test only. So this is quite large, but I want everything to stay in one line. Okay, so I'm just going to stretch this. If it still doesn't fit, I can just highlight it and just reduce the size. Okay, but that size, that's too small. Let me just take it to 105. Okay, so 105 is cool. So to the answer slide, I'm also going to change that to 105. Okay, and then I'm going to type subtraction. Okay, so let's just stretch it to fit in and move it to where we want it to be. Okay, good. So we have this, and now we will check what's going on, what's going to happen with when we play this on slideshow. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, slideshow from beginning. Good. Notice that when I clicked on check answer on question 2, it took me back to slide 3. That's because we duplicated this slide, and every format we have there still has the same format. That's the same format you're going to have on the next question you're going to have. So you need to change that setting. So let's go back to slide 4, which is our question 2. Click on this and go back to link, and let's change that to link to the next slide and not going back to slide 3. If you notice here, the link is still at slide 3, so we're going to link it to slide 5, which is our answer slide for question 2. So click OK. Now the next button, we want at the click of the next button, it takes us to the next slide. So let's insert a link there too. So the next button is taking us to slide 4, so just click slide 4, click OK, and here you can click this, you can click on this and set it to take you to the next slide, just in case you might also have a next slide. So let me just choose next slide. Okay, so okay. All right, so I think this is perfect and my questions are ready. So let's preview it and see what we have been working on all along. Let's see what we have been working on. All right. Now guys, let's save our PowerPoint presentation, okay? So we can share it to our students, participants, and they'll be able to play this quiz without any hitch. Okay, so to save, we are going to click File tab, go to Save As, click on this PC, Browse, click where you want to save your slide. Okay, so just select where you want to save it, all right, and just click. Okay, so I want to save it here. Now I'm going to show us a quick trick here. First, the file name, you have to enter the file name. So let's say scrambled word game. The save as type, now I want to show us a quick trick here. We're going to save to PPSX, all right? So this is what we want to save as PowerPoint show. Now what this would do is it will help you once your students or participants open the file, it will take them straight into the game without taking them to the PowerPoint format interface. All right, so I'll show us how that works once I'm done. All right, so let's do this. Click this and click save. All right, so we're done saving that, and we're going to close the timer. Let's close everything and go straight to the file. So I think this is where I saved my documents. I saved it on desktop. So I saved that in edited videos. Now this is our file, scramblewordgame.ppsx. All right, so let's double click. You see how the PowerPoint would begin. It will begin as a PowerPoint show. See, this is exactly how it is once you share it with your students or participants. Once they open the file, it will take them straight into the show instead of taking them to the PowerPoint edit interface. Okay, all right, and that's it. You've just learned how to create an interactive quiz with a countdown timer in PowerPoint. Now it's your turn. Try it out in your next lesson or presentation and see how much fun and engaging it becomes. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, leave a comment and share this video with others. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.